All right, today we're going to do a deep dive on a really fascinating proposal called Surge. It's designed to tackle one of the single biggest challenges facing the Cardano ecosystem. So let's get right into it.
So first things first, let's just look at the raw numbers because they tell a pretty stark story. You've got ecosystems like Solana and Ethereum that are humming along with over $1 billion in daily on-chain activity. And then you have Cardano, averaging around 2 million. To put that in perspective, that's not just a small gap, it's a chasm. We're talking about a rounding error, really.
And that just begs the question, right? You've got this incredibly strong technology, a super passionate and dedicated community. So why is there such a massive difference in activity? What's the missing piece of the puzzle here? Well, this brings us to what's being called Cardano's billion-dollar problem. The idea is that it's this thriving ecosystem, it has all the right ingredients, but it's being held back by one critical missing piece.
Look, nobody's denying Cardano's strengths. The technical foundation is solid, and the community is absolutely one of the most purpose-driven in the entire space. But everything keeps coming back to this one metric where it just falls behind: on-chain liquidity.
And you know, there's a quote that really hits the nail on the head here. Efficient, liquid markets beget adoption. It's that simple. Without it, it's just incredibly difficult to attract the kind of widespread use that every blockchain is fighting for. Liquidity is the lifeblood of the system. Think about it. On other chains, this liquidity creates this amazing self-feeding loop. You get healthy markets that leads to better token valuations, which then gets you listed on the big exchanges. That brings global visibility, which pulls in more users and more builders, and boom, you've got sustainable momentum. It's a flywheel effect, and right now, Cardano is on the outside looking in.
Okay, so we've established the problem is a lack of liquidity. But what actually creates liquidity? To answer that, we really need to get our heads around this idea of a liquidity engine. And in this case, that means professional market making.
So what in the world is market making? Well, it's not about speculating or trying to guess where the price will go. Not at all. It's actually this essential service of always, constantly providing both buy and sell orders for an asset. By doing that, you tighten the gap, what's called the spread, between the buy and sell price, and that makes trading smoother and more efficient for absolutely everyone.
Now, this is a super important point, so let's be clear. This is not the same as the automated market makers, or AMMs, you see on most decentralized exchanges. An AMM just follows a simple math formula to set a price. A professional market maker, which is what Surge wants to be, strategically places orders to actively improve the market's health. It's a service provider, not just a price algorithm.
So how can Cardano get an engine like this? Well, that is the exact problem Surge is trying to solve. The whole idea is to bring that professional-grade infrastructure to the ecosystem, but, and this is the key, to do it in a way that's open and accessible to everybody.
So what's the game plan? Well, the project's goals are pretty straightforward. First off, deliver the pro-level tools that have helped other chains really take off. Second, and this is the big one, do it in a way that's permissionless, decentralized, and non-custodial, meaning you don't have to ask for permission or hand over your crypto. And third, the ultimate goal, use this powerful tool to light a fire under the entire ecosystem's health and drive adoption.
And this really gets to the core of it. The whole philosophy is simple. Your keys, your funds, your strategy. It's completely non-custodial. You never ever give up control of your assets. The whole thing runs locally and securely right on your own computer. And in the world of crypto, that is a massive deal for security and true decentralization.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory. But what does it actually look like to use this thing? Let's walk through what a user would actually experience on the platform.
So imagine you're a project team, right? The process is designed to be incredibly streamlined. You connect a wallet, instantly generate hundreds of trading wallets, and then, boom, you fund them all in one single transaction. From there, you just configure your strategy in a simple builder, setting all your risk rules like stop losses. Then, with just one signature, you deploy it. The real magic here is that Surge aims to take this incredibly complex financial operation and make it feel almost push-button simple.
Okay, now zoom out for a second. That was just one project. What happens when you have dozens, maybe even hundreds of projects all using the same tool all at the same time? The collective impact on Cardano's market health could be absolutely transformative. We're talking about creating that vibrant billion-dollar on-chain economy we saw at the very beginning.
All right, so where does this all go from here? The proposed roadmap gives us a pretty clear picture of how this vision for a much more liquid Cardano could actually become a reality.
The timeline they've laid out is definitely ambitious. The plan is to get a public testnet out, complete a security audit,
and launch the V1 Mainnet all in the third quarter of 2025. And then, by the end of that year, they're planning a V2 with some really next-level features, like using AI to help generate strategies and having strategies that can react to the market on their own.
And hey, just a quick but really important note here. This tool is explicitly designed for lawful market making, for making markets healthier. It is not for market manipulation like wash trading. Ultimately, anyone who uses it is responsible for making sure they're following all their local rules and regulations.
And all of this brings us back to the big question at the heart of it all. Could a permissionless, decentralized tool like this really be the key that unlocks the next major chapter of growth for Cardano? It's a powerful idea, and now you understand the thinking behind it.